Good afternoon. It is 2/22/22, and we are pumped to the high five. We're recording on a Tuesday. We've been all over the place when we're going in with all this great content that we're putting together. That's because we're so blasted busy. We have so many things going on, but we make sure that once a week, sometime during that week, I get the three best looking people in payments together, and that's really, I'm number three. Let's find out the top two. On the far left-hand side, living his life in the snowy Rocky Mountains of Glenwood Springs. How are you, Danny Shard?
I'm doing good, Nate. Thanks, High Five Nation. Glad to be on here again. It is a snowy Tuesday, 2/22/22. I thought it was 2:22 in the afternoon as well. I made me do double
If we'd have
check.
been that cool to record at that time, how impressive would we have been?
That's right. We're having a great day, and it's also Taco Tuesday paired with National Margarita Day. So
you had to have celebrated that, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure.
It's a cool day. We didn't get to celebrate. We haven't ordered lunch yet, so it's already past lunchtime, and I think we're gonna miss it. But might have a margarita for dinner. We'll see.
We go.
How does everybody know that it's National Margarita Day?
Social media, Brian Linky. Social media. Somebody's going to tell you.
Yeah.
All right.
Showing my age, I guess.
And in the center,
Why am I so blurry?
you are a little blurry. I can't tell if you're out of focus or you're the signal's coming down low. You sound great, so we're going to go with that. The camera, I'm looking at it a little closer. I think the camera may have fallen out of focus. Put your hand in front of the camera. There we go. Now pull it back. No, pull it back. There we go. See, it's autofocus. It had grabbed off your face. See?
Look at my. Does everybody see my clock in the background? It's a
He fixed
gift
it.
from the director of sales at PayProtect, Danny Shard. If you look closely, it's my Rolex Pepsi clock. Set to the correct time, by the way.
Very nice. Look at that. Look, now people know what time we're actually recording. We're not just as a.
Does anybody really know what time it is?
That is true. That is
Does
true.
anybody really care?
Looks crooked.
Who sings it?
I do not know. Danny, you know the lyrics of that song?
I don't.
Chicago.
I
Does
didn't
anybody
know that.
really know what time it is? Does anybody really care about time?
See, I just know. Look
I've never heard that
away,
song.
baby. Look away when you
All
see
right, Nate,
me.
you're gonna have to edit all this.
Sorry, I'll
All
stop.
this is getting get edited.
No more Chicago songs. I'm all. I do just my inspiration. I could do that. I know a few. Chicago 17. That was my jive back. That album 88 or whatever. All right, let's get to real topics that we're trying to discuss today. We always say sell on value, not just on price. Price is just one of the pieces that comes into merchant services and point of sale discussions. But today I wanted to ask Brian Linky and Danny Shard, as some of our sales experts, what are some of the ways they add value, and then what are some of the ways they see value being added by other partners, even ways that they couldn't do. Sometimes it's a unique thing that you bring that no one else can. Sets you apart. So, gentlemen, are you ready to provide some value to our listeners and our watchers, or viewers, that would be a better term, and show them a little bit of what some of the value that we're seeing added to the marketplace?
Absolutely.
Yes, we are, Nate.
All right, let's do it. Brian Linky, I'm going to let you go first because we were just talking. Brian, what's one way you see value being added beyond just selling on price and I can come save you money to merchant services?
Well, I think. Sorry, Dan, I didn't mean to say again. When I go and I talk to people, or when a salesperson talks to people, I think that the thing you want to do is be yourself and get those people to want you to be there, right? I mean, so like when you're in talking to people, act like you care about not only the person but their business. And genuinely, I just had this conversation with my son the other day. Genuinely, like, look around, see what's on the wall, see what's, and have them, people love to hear other people talk about what they have and how great it is. And this restaurant's so cool. And this is this, and this is that. And I think if you're actually invested in that business and actually care about the business that you're in, it goes a long way into selling the account.
I mean, the fact is that so many of our competitors treat the merchants like a number. and it's
Right.
just like a machine. And if you just pay a little bit of interest and show a little of true care and, hey, want to be involved, I think there's lots of ways you can do that value. And as my popping in my head, we've talked about this idea before. What if you gave like awards to, if you're in a big enough market, you're like, this is, you won this award for the top sit down restaurant in the area or something like that. And providing that feedback of, hey, this is how we see it. This is why you're successful. And eventually, as you build that relationship, you may be able to provide a little feedback where you say, hey, this is a way to improve something. Brian, have you ever been in a situation where you've been able to help a merchant improve something that's broken without offending them?
Oh, of course. I mean, again, it goes back to if the merchant wants you there and wants you in the place of business, and okay, you're 80%. It's 80% closed because right away they're liking you. They're liking the fact that you're interested in what they do and how they do things. And if it's a restaurant, you can order something and talk about how great it is, or what, even if it's not that great, you can talk about how just being involved and acting like you care, I think goes a long way.
That it does. Mr. Danny Shard, you've been doing this for so long. What are some ways that you see some value being added that's not just wrapped around price and really helps, merchants make the decision to go do business with you and also stay for a lot longer?
Yeah, I think it's a great topic for all of us amongst the sales community. Look, as salespeople, we're thinking about this all the time, right? Like, how am I going to stand out? How am I going to be different? How am I going to wow them, right? And before, I say before lightly, I mean just a few years ago, I mean you're wowing them with the concept of eliminating their processing fees, right? Or getting them into a new point of sale system, and that's still your core offerings to this day. But how are you personally and your team, how are you kind of setting yourself apart and differentiating from the next person that walks in, right? Something that you're all thinking about, and we think about it all the time too, to try to help you. And for a lot of you, we're not going to tell you anything that you don't know or that you haven't thought of already. And that's just the reality of it, right? I think for some of you, hopefully we give you some ideas. Brian, Nate, you guys have great topics there about be authentic, be yourself, care for the merchant, and just try to be in that business and be there for them. That's a great way that you can stand out. But taking it a step further, the things that you can do to add value and really differentiate and make them go, I want to do business with Brian Linke. I want to do business with Nate Manahan. And there's, a few things. I mean, like you guys are saying, be yourself, be authentic, right? And take that into the merchant, right? A step further is identify the things that they like personally, right? Get to know the owner, and maybe the owner is really big into cooking steaks. Maybe the owner is a boat enthusiast, right? There's a lot of things that you can do to bring him a little gift. Gary V, Nate, I know you're a big follower of Gary V, and he did something really cool probably a long time ago, where he found a customer that just made a small purchase on his website, went to the customer's social media page, I think it was Facebook or Twitter or something like that, and found out that he was a huge Jets fan, I think it was. And they
Me too. I'm a Jets fan. Yeah.
They ordered the guy that just made a small purchase. They ordered the guy a Jets jersey, like a signed Jets jersey or something like that, and sent it to him and said, thanks for being a first-time customer. Come back and see us, kind of thing. And then just a couple weeks later, they never heard from the customer. They got a huge order from another customer that made a note that said, I was referred to you by so-and-so. You gave him a Jets jersey. By the way, I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. And so it's more like getting to know your customers and merchants trying to get to know their customers, right? It goes downhill. You're trying to bring in repeat business. Same goes for us in our business. And how can we connect with our merchants on a different level outside of the payment processing that we've got to do that good, right? We've got to be really good at our jobs to get to this point. Got to provide good solutions, got to provide good pricing, got to be there to support them when they need us. But then how do we connect with them on a next level and keep that competition at bay? And it's things like that that can help you do it. Get to know them personally, do some unique things like that. That's going to make you stand out. There's obviously a ton of things that we can try to do on the business side of it, right? Maybe we can help with their payroll. Maybe we can jump in and connect them with a web developer. There's, things like that that we can try to do and enhance their business. And just the more that we can play a part in that, the stickier the relationship gets. But taking it a step further, getting to know your merchant and trying to do some things like that for them, I think that's going to be a huge way you can stand up.
I think one of the things I've learned in the last year being part of like a local BNI group here is the value isn't always being part of BNI and this networking group, but the fact that anytime anybody asks me, hey, do you know a painter? Do you know an insurance agent? Do you know somebody who does business real estate? Do you know someone who can do legal information? All these different things that they may need help. You become the person they call because they know that you are the person that can get an answer for them or find someone who knows the answer for them. And that's really important. I mean, Brian, we often refer to you as the wolf. That's somewhat the fixer, but the fixer is the one who is able to connect them to the right person at the right time for the right situation, right?
People come to me for everything. Hot water heaters, plumbers, electricians.
And we know Brian's not doing that work.
Okay, I'm not even coming close to doing that work. But I've always said this. I may not know anything about anything, but I know a lot of people who do, right? And as long as you keep a lot of people that do close to you and you refer them to other people, it's gonna go a long way, and people are gonna want to do business with you because you're the guy, right? You're right. You're the wolf. You're the guy who fixes everything. You're the guy who knows everything and knows everybody. And if you can be that guy, you'll be surprised at what kind of networking, what kind of referral business you'll get yourself into.
So we got about 4 minutes left of what I want to do in our time together today. I'm going to last one little section around value adding. And the reason we often sell on price is because that's an easy sell because that makes them more money. But another way for them to make more money is to give them more customers or bring them more business. What are some ways that you guys have seen that our partners or have done something unique or been helpful and provided value in helping businesses grow by adding more customers or more business coming in, maybe having a higher tick item, whatever it may be? Have you seen something, any of the guys adding value, or the men and women who are working with PaperTech?
Well, I can't get on Instagram without seeing UpNexa and how excited they are about the merchants that they sign. And I know Danny deals with them, with Jeremy Kersane, a lot more than I do. But every merchant, I believe, Journey Business Solutions does the same thing. Where they're celebrating the fact that they signed the merchant, and they're eating at that merchant's restaurant, or they're again, they're getting on Facebook and Instagram with the owner of the company and shaking his hand and putting the picture on their Facebook page or on their Instagram page. And those things go a long way because, you go back in there and you show them that, and that advertising is going, and then you can go into the next one and say, hey, you look what I did for, Al's Beef over here. And you'd be surprised at how many people, because again, people love seeing their name. Right? People love hearing their name. And if you can provide that for them, it goes a long way.
I agree.
I love the social media part of it. We've got even more. I mean, you guys mentioned Journey, UpNexa, and we've got dozens more of partners that celebrate those merchants signing up with them, and they push it out into their communities, right? To let others know. And there's a lot of merchants out there that have not had that type of experience, right? They probably set up their merchant account over the phone or through the bank. And so actually having someone in their place of business that's setting them up with new equipment and celebrating their business with them is something that a lot of merchants want to experience. It's contagious, right? So I encourage you to do that and kind of push it out to your communities, big or small. Get the word out that you're setting merchants up, even if you've got 1, 2, or 100, right? Let people know that they're a part of your organization and these merchants are doing business with you. You'll be surprised at how much a response that you get and how many other merchants want to do business with you as well.
Well, and that kind of, the other thing is that kind of advertising doesn't cost them anything, right? Where
Right.
you know, I mean, advertising is a big budget kind of thing, right? I mean, it costs a lot of merchants a lot of money to advertise. You know, whether it be, you know, wherever it is, you know, billboards or you know, in the you know, on the radio or what, you know, I'm showing my age here by saying those two things because they're near and dear to my heart. People don't really do that anymore, but those are the kinds of things that again they don't cost. You know, so when who's the guy up next? The guy with all the energy, Dan.
There's a few. Jeremy, he's he's great.
Yeah, I mean, you know, again, they're you're right. They're excited about it. They're you know they're again, and same thing with some of these other guys. They're excited about the partners that they're signing and giving them free advertising. And again, it's just kind of a networking thing, and it goes a long way.
All right, as we close up, gentlemen, it is this may be our last time in February. Maybe next Monday, which will be the last day of February, we will actually record. We'll have to see if we actually do what we plan on, which it doesn't work the last 6 weeks. I feel like
We're back here, Nate. We're back.
but we're back. We're going to get into some
back.
more. But if February's here, we're in the last month of the first quarter of 2022. What are we saying? What Brian Linke? Encourage us? What do you say to our partners?
What I say is, I am, and I said this in our team meeting the other day. There's so many guys that they're like, well, man, I'm out. I'm knocking on 100 doors a day. Well, number one, you're not, okay. But even if you were, okay, it's the same thing as shooting free throws, right? Which is again near and dear to my heart. When kids tell me, well, I've been shooting 100 a day. Okay, I don't, and then they get into the game and they go 1 for 9 or 2 for 7. Okay. And it's like, okay, how about this? How about let's count how many free throws you made, okay, in that amount of time. Let's not count the amount of shots. Let's count the amount. Okay. It's the same thing in sales. Okay. You're knocking on 100 doors. I don't care. Okay. How many people are you talking to? How many meetings are you setting? How many appointments are you setting, to plant the seed, to plow the field? Right. So it's not the amount of door. And again, I know it's a numbers game. Okay. That's an old cliche. I've never really been a big believer in it. Let's get the quality type accounts. Let's get out and get in front of people and set appointments. And all of a sudden now you'll start doing some more deals rather than just seeing how many doors you can knock on.
I
love
you
that.
got to follow that.
I love that mindset. That's tough to find, or that's tough to follow. I'll say, and I'll not to contradict Brian. I mean, there's different approaches, right? And he's absolutely right. Right, go after the bigger, better accounts. I think if you're looking at how do I start, you're looking to gain some momentum and stuff. Some of that is going through the motions, right? I saw a post on one of the Facebook groups the other day about how you should put 20 to 30 or 40 or like Brian says 100 doors a day, whatever. Put 20 to 30 business cards in your pocket. Don't go home until you've handed all those out and you've introduced yourself and made an introduction. I say that not to contradict what he's saying because he's absolutely correct, but some of it in sales, especially as you're trying to gain some momentum or you're trying to just pick up in a different market or in a different vertical or something like that, is going through the motions and getting out there and just making some introductions, shaking hands, kissing babies, as I say, and just getting your name out there, right? So try all the different things, but get ready and pick up some momentum because March is going to be huge and we're really excited about it.
Count the makes, not the shots.
All right. Absolutely. Count the makes, not the shots. We're going to have a lot of makes. We're coming into a very exciting time of the year. In fact, next week we will have some big announcements, so make sure you catch the high five. Whether you're listening, watching, however you're, taking this in, we are so thankful. If you have an opportunity, go to iTunes, go to Spotify, leave a review. That makes us very happy. Thanks for the few that have done that. And if you have a question, have something you want to reach out, just respond to the email. Email me. You know all of our emails. Danny, B. Linke, N. Manahan, all at payprotect.com. We're here for you. Thank you guys so much. And on that, everybody, we say high five.
High five, everybody. Finish February strong.
Right.